wanna lay those shingles down, boy, for you. I'm gonna do some siding, get you excited. James Hardy siding, Google it.
You know I make your neighbors cry. Boo, cause we tell all the leaks go bye. And you know we all do the side.
James Hardy, boy, yeah. Guys, Lifetime Roofing. They're the best roofers in the game, best customer service. LifetimeSTL.com. Google them.
This is St. Louis Baseball Weekly.
It seemed like this whole weekend was fun for you, but was there any pressure at all, or were you able to just truly enjoy all of this?
No, I didn't put any pressure. I think for me, you know me, you covered me for a long time, on the other side. I told myself I'm going to enjoy every moment. I'm going to do everything, and then, I'm going to prepare myself the way that I prepare myself for the game, and that's what I did. I enjoyed every moment, and I'm telling you, in the next couple of days here, I probably gonna really enjoy it more, because it was so much and it happened so quick.
St. Louis Baseball Weekly with Brian Stoll every Friday at noon right here on WGNU 920 AM.
Now, I'm sure that most of you know the old story about the astronaut who went far out into space and was asked on his return whether he had been to heaven and seen God. And he said yes.
Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, non-binaries, and sentient artificial intelligence. Join us on this journey to find the others. Because no matter where we find ourselves in this multiverse, the act of existing is all too familiar.
Guys? Is anybody out there? Hello?
The mushroom has a tremendous problem-solving ability.
Herbs are good. Herbs are good for everything.
As we look across this great expanse and stare at the stars, we can't help but be reminded these lights, though we're seeing them all at the same time, happened across a multi-billion-year delta. Some of those fires burned millions of years ago, some billions, but all of them happened so we could experience them in this one singular moment.
They called us scouts. They called us seekers. They called us Hoosier. But we were destined to question everything.
I don't know about you, but as for me, the question has already been answered. Should we be here? Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hoosier Sophisticate Radio. I'm here with the boys. What's up, man? I'm here with Craig and Seth, and we got a new guy in here, Scotty the intern. But that's not important right now. What is important is we have one of the biggest weekends of our lives coming up this weekend, Craig. And Seth, hopefully he's a mystery man. Scott knows what I'm talking about. Not really, but he does. We kept saying, we got this float trip coming up. It was one of the biggest binding experiences of our group,
no doubt,
and kind of propelled us to that next level. Seeing all those people. Yeah. The next level being very, very low. Sure. Very little
just
low level.
Just a little step up on the curve.
They did it. They did it for us. So we have this weekend coming up, and it reminded me of a time because you kept bringing up in his Facebook lives. He's like, it's not the bull float. It's that we're not going on the bull float. No offense to the bull float. have a fun time.
They've got
I've done
a great little thing
It's
going
awesome.
for them.
And I've never been on it.
They probably make a ton of money on it.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like one of the big country stations has like a
Is a bowl.
Oh, the bowl.
yeah. Like
Everybody
has
floats
a
on
float.
bowls.
We're talking like hundreds of people.
Full-grown bulls. They ride them through the river.
Yes.
And see who's left standing at the end.
Yeah.
It's not the bull float, guys.
It's not the bull.
It's not that. But what he means by that is it's not, hey, how drunk can I get? And you parked your car too close to mine, fella. Now I'm gonna have to knock you square in the jaw. We've all been there
Do you
before.
have an experience like that?
We've all been there before. Well, that's why it's really good because the previous camping experience I had before the cotillion was the worst of all time. It was it was horrible. I went out. It was my wife's friends, who I'm friends with them all now. You know how it goes.
We've all grown up together. South side is tight. Yeah.
They were maybe South County kids. I don't know.
Oh, there's your first.
There you go. Thank you. But a few South City ruffians in the group. So we go out there. We're like 10 deep, 10, 15 deep. We're out the Hoosier or whatever one that is. You guys all know the ones that everybody goes to the party. We're on the zoo side where they say this is the crazy side. We can stay up all night, and the other side is the family side where you're gonna. Which I was like, I'm the family side forever. From now on, I'm only family side. We get there and we're having. This is 2-3 years ago. We're having a pretty good time. Everybody's there. Half of the people aren't there, so everybody's kind of drinking, waiting for the other people to come. Well, it's kind of starting to get dark and. These two just masculine fellas, about 25, show up in their big truck, and they got a big trailer, and they're in the lot next to us. And there, everything's packed. You're on top of everybody. Yes. This is Ozark wilderness. Like there's trees everywhere, but in this campground, everybody's butt tight together. It's not going to be like Cotillion.
You're talking about who's all that. I mean, it's like cattle. Like
Thank you.
You're just packed into a field,
especially if you are 6 cars deep on a campsite. We spent half of our time maneuvering cars, figuring out now I got to leave. Now I got to go here for this thing. And it's like, no one has to leave. We're keeping all the cars and say, well, my car's not near my tent. My car's not near my tent. That was me. Actually, I like to be near my tent.
Okay, fair enough.
So anyway, so these strapping young lads show up and they got a big old truck, Dodge Ram, tough. I'm like, all right, they got a big sleeping trailer, but it's an old one, nothing nice. And they're trying to get in the lot and they can't back it up straight into their lot. And I'm like, oh, well, if they're getting a lot of many more cars here, then they're going to be in trouble. They can't park this thing at an angle. So we're helping them out, backing up, can't get it, backing up. And now, you've been around guys with a trailer. Everybody's like, turn the wheel to the right. You got to turn the wheel. Oh, you want me to pull that trailer in there? I've done trailers all my life. So you're like, okay, whatever. It's a big pissing contest out there. Everybody's
always.
So we end up getting them right on our edge perfectly.
Okay.
Aligned straight. They got all this room where this is great. Okay. They get out and they're like, yeah, we're the only 2 people who are coming. And we're like, why didn't you tell us that at the beginning? We've been helping you back this thing up so you had room for other people in cars. But anyway, they had a great setup. So they build a fire. We build a fire. We're cooking. We're eating. Everybody's having a good time. They're cooking buffalo chicken. We're like, that smells good. And they're like, oh, cool. But they were 25 to 30-year-old steeds.
Okay.
Like, shirts off, gym shorts, just gray.
Throwing out in the woods.
On. You know how it goes. Yeah. Pretty much throwing out in the woods. So we go over there, and that's still like the cucky shtick was still a thing. So they were calling me cucky, and they thought that was funny. So we're eating their buffalo chicken, and we're having a good time. And they're Marines. So my buddy is in the Army. And so I'm like, this is great. We're surrounded by, the finest Americans in town here. Like, I think this is before all my Project for 22 stuff. So I'm still like, hey, this is great. This is a good experience for me because I'm the worst. You know what I mean? So I like to be around people who are doing stuff that's worthy, Okay. So, I'm like, hey guys. And of course I didn't realize that the Marines kind of rub everybody the wrong way. Seth, is that a safe assumption? I mean, I feel like there's a lot of jokes on the Marines, but everybody respects them.
There's the semi-friendly rivalry betwixt Army and Marines. I don't know what it's like to be a civilian and some Marines like, hey, hold my beer for me while I make out with your girlfriend. Or your little pipsqueak. Yeah. Did you feel a little intimidated?
Hold my beer with me while I whisper into your dad's ear.
Not because they were Marines.
It's more of a Navy thing.
I'm in the Navy. So it was
sailor.
It was. I wasn't really intimidated because they were in Marines. I was more like, God, these guys, I should have done more
Because
push-ups.
You're just intimidated because they were
done more push-ups. They'll take all of
they
our
were
women
men
right now. Yeah, like they're in their prime, baby.
They're like opening cans of just
Now, is this-
unlabeled cans of meat with their teeth and eating them. And Steve's got a Lunchable. He's like, you guys, want a little sandwich?
You guys want a pizza?
Is this,
mini
is this
pizza?
last year?
So terrible.
This is 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
This was before the cotillion and Cucky shtick was still
Okay.
running at the time. So they thought the Cucky stuff was funny. So we have a good old time. Everybody drinks, and half of our people said they had like a wedding or something. So they weren't coming down. They weren't going to get down to like 2 or whatever.
Okay.
So like 1, the party's finally dying down. We got to float the next day, and everybody's still, drinking, having a good time. So me and Jen go, and we're like in a 8-man tent that we brought out like crazy people. Why? I don't know. We were the only 2 in it. Yeah, we're hoping.
I got you.
We had
Put a pineapple out front.
We had mattresses
If you'd have
everywhere.
put a pineapple out front, you'd have been fine.
I didn't know at the time, Craig. We didn't know. So that was a. I'm sorry, I'm just adjusting the. I'm peeking, baby.
I'm excited.
So we're having a good time. I finally, I'm like, I'm going to sleep. Jenny and I go in the tent. We're sleeping. Wink, wink. So we go to sleep for real, and we can hear everybody else out. Well, Jenny's best friend Kristen, one of my friends forever. Never seen her get excited really about anything. Like, she's very like, hey, very just sweet and like, oh, okay, everything's cool. The house could be burning, and she'd be like, all right, let's get out of here. And you're like, okay, well, a little urgency, a little sense of urgency. I wake up to
Better
her
skedaddle.
her screaming.
Your wife?
No.
Oh,
Kristen.
I
I
gotcha.
wish. No, I'm joking. In a good way. That
Gotcha.
made it sound like I wish she was being murdered. Sorry, that's not what I meant by that. It was supposed to be sexual. It went. You know how it goes.
I got you.
So I hear her screaming, "Get out of here! Get! Go on now! Get!"
Was there like a bobcat or something?
Thank you. Thank you. That was my first thought. I was like, there's a rogue dog is probably the most likely thing.
That made her channel her
Second-
inner swamp person.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. And I'm like, that's a weird choice of words because I remember thinking,
help.
that or it's a black bear, or possibly worst case scenario, it's a cougar. Maybe
There's
it's
a lot of people there for like big jungle cats to be running around.
Thank you.
Okay.
So dog, I'm thinking it's a dog. Jenny is loyal, fiercely loyal to her friends and family.
No doubt.
Do not mess with her friends and
No
family.
doubt.
Like that's thing I love. So she hears Kristen yelling, and my first thought is like, oh, that sounds like a wild animal out there. Let's take a second. Okay.
Let it breathe. Let them get full on Kristen, and then you can go out there when they're not hungry.
This through. Jenny has Kool-Aided herself out of the tent. I don't even think she's unzipped it. She's out of the tent. I'm like, where did she go? Like she just sprung and was out.
Kool-Aided? Like the man,
Kool-Aid
like
man.
the Kool-Aid man through
Through
the wall
of my
I knew
tent.
exactly what that verb was when
Thank
you
you. She got right out the side of this tent. So now she's in the mix. I'm like, for a minute, I'm like, do I get dressed? I'm in like just like shorts, and I think I may have been shirtless, which makes it hotter. No, I think I threw a shirt on, because I would have remembered for the one part. So anyway,
like
I
Jenny's halter top.
I get out there, and it's the 2 Marines, and they're up in my buddy's face.
Oh god.
The one has a mag light flashlight, and the other one is up in his face. The blonde dude is up in his face, and this guy's taut, shirt off, and Kristen's in the middle of it, just going ham. Like, get away. Because apparently they had been sitting down, and they took, wanted to sit down at our camp chairs, and and then they're starting stuff with
They
my
got
buddy.
territorial.
Exactly.
Is your buddy equipped to handle this situation?
Oh, he's more than equipped, which worried me even further.
Okay.
Because it became this battle where it wasn't, and now Jenny's in the mix too. So
Better let us sit with you.
I kind of get, well, I think they were hitting on the chicks who were there, and the chicks were wanting no part of it. Secretly they were like, dominate me over in your campsite.
Kept
That's
accidentally
like all women
bringing
thing.
attention to their dog tags.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know.
You get it.
I know.
So it's pandemonium out there. There's another guy with us, and he's a big burly guy, and he's like now I'm looking to rally the troops, and we have like friends of friends who are there, a lot of friends of friends. There's one guy who's a friend of a friend, and he's out there with me. He's like, what do we do? He's littler than me. I'm like, I don't know. Let's rally. people here before my wife and Kristen get punched in the face, because then we'll really have to do something. At this point we can have a whole standoff here, hopefully nothing actually happens. And my buddy is just calm as can be. And I'm like, oh no. And he had told me he had his firearm because he just never knows what happens out there. And I'm like, oh no.
I like him.
The way he's so calm, I'm like, he's got his firearm on him. And that worried me even further. So I'm like trying to get the girls out.
This guy military trained? Okay.
He was IEDs, was part of this unit that got IEDs. So he's the man. He's like, I love this guy.
Like they would go and dig him up and
yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
EOD.
I think it was on a Buffalo, maybe, and maybe I'm giving out too much information. Is that a vehicle? I think
some
like dig the. I don't know. You know how it is.
He was on patrol.
He did some real stuff over there.
Okay,
and so he's just real calm. Now the one guy's pressing his forehead, doing that thing. So I look at the big guy in my group. He's got his shirt off. He was sleeping in his tent. I'm like, let's go. At least we got to go over there and do something. Help me, please. Pleading with him. He's like, none of the other guys have even come out of their tent besides me and this friend of the friend and the other big guy. He's like, no. And I'm like, what do you mean no? Like this is happening whether you say mutter no or not. So it's still pandemonium. The guy starts shining the flashlight, the second guy, in my buddy's face. And he's like, no, trying to weave out of it. And it's like they're calculated. You can tell this isn't drunks on the river. You can tell this isn't river Hoosiers. These are people who have been trained. You can tell they're like, I'm like, oh, I'm so unequipped. So I get over there in the mix. Now the girls are getting crazy. And the one dude lunges and he's going to hit my buddy. And my buddy's still just like, do it and see what happens. Because he's very much like, I'm not getting in a fight in front of my wife unless something crazy happens. Very like, stand-up guy. And so he lunges and he fake punches, which he even said he did a million times later. He's like, I try to fake punch you. Where he went and like hits him with his forearm kind of in the neck.
Forearm shivered him?
A little bit, but like held up and knocked us all into the tent. So now we're all fall into my 8-man tent. Okay. And I'm like, my tent. I'm like, nah.
All of a sudden you just turn red. You're like, no, you've done it.
Yeah, I wish that's the scenario.
Steve
that
jumps out
happened.
of the backpack like Tommy Davidson and Ace Ventura when nature calls.
Oh, I was unaware the Wachudu were biters.
Yes.
So I go down with him and I grab the blonde guy, the guy with his shirt off, and I grab him and I'm like, geez, Louise. Okay.
Chub up.
No.
You just tell him like, I know this isn't the right time, bro, but nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
Working out.
I grab him. He gets up. Everybody tries to get up real quick. Everybody's trying to get up. And he gets up and it's like I'm just along for the ride. And I think should have done more push-ups before he came out here. That's a running theme I'm having out here. I'm like, gosh darn it. So he gets up. I kind of get in his face and I go, man, what are you guys doing? This is a big misunderstanding. I'm Cucky. That was you're the Buffalo Chicken guys. We helped you do your back up your vehicle. He's like, it is? And I'm like, yeah. You don't remember all those things? Like, this is the campsite next year's. And he's like, this is a misunderstanding. And I'm like, is he messing with? He's messing with. He's going to punch me in the mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, dude, we're friends. We've been here. Like, this is a misunderstanding. He's like, should I go shake hands with that dude? And I'm like, I still don't know if you're messing with me, if you're just trying to get over to him. So he goes over to him. They shake hands. Him and my buddy are like, yeah, it was crazy. Shit, stuff gets crazy. Now the dude with the mag light gets mouthy. He hadn't said anything the whole time. He's just been a part of the group. He's like, no, I don't like how this dude told me to stand up. And I'm like, okay, quick, damage control. Go over to him. Solo him. Get him over to the side. And I'm like, this is a misunderstanding, big guy. And he's like, it is. And I'm like, these guys, what? This is happening.
Are
this
they
is
just
working?
hammered?
They're beyond hammered. That made sense to them. That they were like, we know you guys. It's you guys from Buffalo Chicken and Cucky. And I'm like, yeah, dude, this is the campsite next to yours. And they're like, oh. So anyway, they shake hands. Now this guy goes, should I go do a shot with that guy? And I'm like,
no.
That's probably the last thing you guys want to do. But yeah, fine. Go do a shot with the guy.
Totally. At
Go
this
do it.
point, yeah.
At this point, great. So they go do a couple shots. So finally, the girls are like, okay, we need to calm things down. Take my buddy for a walk. So take my buddy for a walk. And, you can go do whatever, like
Whatever you
get him
gotta
away
do.
from the situation.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we go, partake in a little.
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. And we're like, okay, we go. And I'm like, man, that was crazy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. It was like at 3:34. My adrenaline is full tilt. And he's just still like walking around like,
I don't know. I can probably go sleep right now.
Exactly. And I'm like, man, talk about the difference in people being able to handle situations. And then he looks at me and he goes, man, but I was about 5 seconds from gouging that guy's eyeballs out. And
which is what makes a great float trip.
No, then the next day, we're waiting for people, and we're on the river. We're waiting for these people on the river. This is a cannabis story. We're waiting for people on the river. They're showing up. They're late. They're coming. We're okay. We'll hold the rafts for you. We'll hold the bus. We'll get ready for you. They wouldn't let me bring cannabis on the float, which is a good thing. You shouldn't bring cannabis on a float.
Totally.
I kept going back to the camp where someone allegedly had some, and I was running back and forth. Okay. And I had little shorts on, I'm doing my thing or whatever. I had little fluorescent green shorts on, and I'm like, okay, that's great. So I go back and forth, and finally this guy's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, this is what I'm doing. And he's like, mind? And I'm like, of course, come on with me. So he's hanging out. We're hanging out for a minute. So finally the people get there. They're supposed to show up, and they're wasted. And I'm like, okay, geez Louise. So we get out in the river. Everyone's drinking. Finally, two ladies who are in their mid-60s, maybe 50s, come by, and they're like, hey, what's up, guys? And they're just river people. And we're like, hey, what's up? And my buddy goes, hey, y'all want to have an orgy with us? And they're like, no, we're good. And my buddy's like, good, we wouldn't want you anyway. And I'm like, oh man, that's just mean and rude, whatever, fine. So we're going down the river. Well, we get down to this spot where it's like a clearing, like the little gravel bar. Everybody's set up there. We're trying to go around all these other rafts. We're not going to stop there. Some guy, he's about 5'6". He's got a pot belly. He's got black hair, balding. He comes out and he's slapping the paddle on the water. It's not slap.
The Hoosier call. The beaver tail.
Thank
paddle?
you. I went into David Attenborough mode, and I was like, if you notice the Hoosier here, it's a supreme Hoosier, and he's the alpha Hoosier of the bunch.
Asserts dominance by slamming ore on the water.
And this could mean either happiness or it could mean anger. They use this call at many times, So I'm like, we're having fun. I realize he's screaming at our boat, and I'm like, why is he screaming at our boat? Now, like, people are starting to notice. Well, the chicks who asked about the orgy, that was his wife. So she told him, now he's mad. He's as mad as can be. Okay. And I'm like, oh, geez. So my buddy gets up on, and this is not, I use the term buddy loosely. We're really close now. But at the term, that on that float trip, I'm like, we're not friends. We're not friends at all. So he gets up, and the guy's screaming at him. He's like, he said that to my wife. He wanted to be in an orgy. And he's like, yeah, no, I said she couldn't be in my orgy. And he's like, what do you mean she can't be in your orgy? And I'm like, this is happening. You guys this is like a Bugs Bunny thing right here happening.
It's the worst.
So he starts sprinting at the boat, right? But
I don't remember the Bugs Bunny where they fought over
the orgy. Yeah, you missed that episode.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
So we're in about 3 foot of water. We're in about 3 foot of water, and we're about 20 yards from the shore, from this beach. So he thinks he can run all the way to our boat. Well, he gets about 10 yards out, and he just dives. Like, he realizes the water's getting too high. His 5'6" frame cannot high hurdle this water. So he eats it with a huge splash, like almost to our boat, reaching out with the paddle. Another big splash of the paddle. My buddy goes up to the side of the raft, and I'm like, he watches a bunch of wrestling. He's going to elbow drop this guy, and we're really going to have a problem. Instead, he gets up on the top, and in front of everyone here, stopped at this little cove, he goes, I'm going to murder you! And screams it as loud as he can. Okay. And now, if we didn't have everyone's attention before, we sure got it now. We got everybody's attention now. So I go up to him. I tackle him back into our boat and like half get him into the water. People are coming out to rescue the River Hoosier. The River Hoosier's like losing his balance, and now he's screaming about 10 feet away.
He's taking on water.
Yeah, yes. And he's like, I can't fight this guy. I'm 5'6". This water's up to my nips already. I gotta get out of here. So I see his crew coming on the beach, coming to rescue him. So I promptly say, hold this guy. I'm going to go talk to his people. I'm like, hey, Betty, this is a misunderstanding or whatever. It's not working with him. It's not working. Misunderstanding thing. He's like, this is not a misunderstanding. I am a chivalrous River Hoosier. Okay. You tell me my wife's not good looking enough to be in an orgy? I'll kill you. Okay. So I go on the beach side while they're like kind of still yelling. I'm like, hey guys, like let's not turn this into a thing that's bigger than it needs to be. One guy is over there taking off a chain. He's got a chain on for his float trip. He's got like a herringbone chain on. And he's like, hold my chain. I remember being like, we got these guys on the river. There's hold my chain guy on the river.
That's the worst guy.
Where did he come from?
That's the worst
and
guy.
He's kind of a big guy, but like big. None of these guys are really that big. So anyway, this little guy comes running up through the thing, and it was the guy I was having a little sesh with before we left. And he comes running up, and he's like, "Cookie," and I'm like, "Yeah, man, what's happening?" And he's like, "Oh man, this dude's cool. That's my stepdad." He's mad as hell. He's like, and I'm like, "I know, dude." I was like, "Listen, I hate the guy who's in my group. Okay, we'll promise we will hate him, and we'll go down the river. You get your guy out of here. I apologize for the whole ordeal." She's plenty good enough to be in our swingers club.
Yeah, your mom is totally good enough to be.
Yeah, I was going to say that. If that's his stepdad, then the woman he's referring to, he's like, yeah, it was my mom you're talking about.
Your mom's totally orgy material.
Exactly.
Thanks,
and he's
bro.
like, yeah.
Just a misunderstanding.
And that's where it went. We paddled by them. They never caught back up with us.
It's just a misunderstanding. We'd all love to boof your mom.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, thanks, bros. I'm like, Jesus, this is a weird thing happening.
Graphic. We'd all just line up and just...
Then it got even worse from there. Then there were a couple more moments, and they're like, "Hey, Steve, go figure that one out." I'm like, "I don't want to."
What did I become the ambassador?
Dr. Phil? Like, geez, I can't do this all night. And the misunderstanding thing worked twice. Right. I don't see that working many more times. So that's why we say it's not like the bull.
It is not the bull float. We'll go into it a little bit more, but I want to jump to the phone lines because we have a caller on line 2, guys. We have
God, how long was she on the line for that? A long time.
3 minutes.
Okay.
We have Corinne on the phone. What's up, Corinne?
11 minutes and 47 seconds.
But who's counting?
3 minutes. Well, at least you got to hear the story of the year.
My phone's gonna die now. Gotta go.
It was okay. I was totally entertained by the orgy story. So
thank you very much. That's exactly what we're looking for from our audience. Corinne, we got big things happening in the cannabis community here, and you are a huge part of it. Midwest Canna Expos is putting on a conference plus expo with all of the greatest minds in hemp. They're going to come here, and they're going to teach everyone how to do anything you would like to do pretty much about hemp. And Craig, what's your famous saying?
Oh, I think millionaires get made in cannabis, and even though hemp is cannabis, but billionaires are made in hemp.
Yeah, I know what you mean by it. We all get it. So Corinne, fill us in on what's going on. And I know you're a sophisticated Hoosier. I'm sorry. I'll put it out there. She's a sophisticated Hoosier. Okay. So everyone deal with it.
Sophisticated Hoosier of all.
Oh, there we go. So drop a little knowledge on us. What you got for us tonight?
I know other people say that too, and they're probably right. But,
no, they're wrong.
No. So hemp, I think, it definitely has the potential to be much bigger than cannabis. I mean, you can make fiber, fuel, paper out of hemp, and plus medicine. So the idea of the Industrial Hemp Forum and Expo is to bring together vendors and educators and people who are knowledgeable about hemp. And we have some people coming to do a hempcrete demonstration. Sustain Natural Fertilizer is sponsoring. They're going to do a session on specifically growing hemp for the purpose of making CBD. We are going to do some sessions on banking and talking about some of the pitfalls and things that CBD stores have to deal with, with the legalities of CBD and hemp and all that. So we have some really, really good educational sessions lined up, and then we've got some vendors coming. We've got some CBD places coming. We've got NPR bringing some irrigation equipment to show us, and Sustain Natural Fertilizers, and some other places. We still have vendor spots available, so that we'll have information on that rolling out as we get spots filled up. So. Tickets are on sale right now. And if you check it out on the website on MidwestCannaExpos.com, you can get all the info.
Join the Sophisticated Hoosier group. You've heard it here. You've heard it a million times before. Now you're hearing it from Corinne. I mean, what more does it take? We got all the information on there too. Follow Midwest Canna Expos on Facebook. Corinne, we saw you at the superhero thing. I want to talk about that a little bit because you guys are the superheroes behind putting the nuts and bolts behind all of this, what goes on. I mean, Craig and I are so, we don't want to do a lot of work. So we're like, yeah, everybody figure everything out and we'll talk about it on the radio. No doubt.
We appreciate you doing that. The superhero meetup was fantastic. And so we brought together people from the industry and we got them to open their wallets up and help support some patient advocacy so that Aiden's Alliance can help patients pay for their medical visits to doctors to get their certification and then their cart fees. And it was really, it was cool. And it just started out as kind of a small idea and it just grew and grew. And we ended up with close to 200 people there. And we ended up raising about $7,000 for Aiden's Alliance. So
that's the best.
It was a really, and it was so much fun. It was really cool to have an industry event where, it was fun and it wasn't, presentations and talking shop. And I know that people made valuable connections, but it was also kind of, a new thing to just kind of relax and get to know each other a little bit better. So it was a really good event.
Oh no, that's exactly what it was. And we usually, this is a male dominated show, obviously.
Totally.
Craig and I are just two alphas, right? And you're the first lady that we've ever had on the show.
Ever.
So congratulations
Really?
on that. No, I'm kidding. Of
course not. Of course not.
Are you
We're a
kidding?
progressive radio show.
Yeah,
we have
geez,
40% women following us, Corinne. Come on.
Don't act like you don't listen every week.
I thought, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. Maybe not a good thing. So,
Well, here's the thing. The cannabis industry, especially in Missouri, I don't know what it's like other places. Wow, there are some powerful women,
no doubt,
doing amazing things, which, now that I say it, that it comes out of my mouth, it's like, wow, women can do things, Steve.
That sounds super
good
patronizing,
job, bud. Good job. But no, I do want to recognize that. It's awesome because that Aiden's Alliance thing, that was one thing that, you go to these conferences and stuff and you get a lot of information, but seeing the heart and soul of it, it's so cool. So I just want to thank you for everything you do. Guys, check out Midwest Canna Expos. Anything else you want to throw at our fans?
Well, no, just they need to make sure that they are in the Hoosier Sophisticates group because there's all kinds of cool stuff going on there. So.
I wouldn't go that far, but thank you very much. As I set it up for you, you knocked it right down. Thank you so much, Corinne. We appreciate you so much.
No problem. Have a great night, guys. Thanks.
See you, Corinne.
See ya.
Thanks.
Oh, the hemp, buddy. It's coming to town. I got some articles on cannabis, too.
I got one that's not on cannabis, but
Let's
it's
hear
a
it, baby.
pretty cool little article, though. Somebody brought up something, we always talk about how, so many things we talk about, we take for granted that just everybody knows that information, right? And I saw somebody who is very involved in the cannabis industry. And another person brought up how LSD was almost became the 13th step in the 12-step program through AA. And like a lot of people just thought that was kind of common knowledge. And so
is this for real?
It's 100% for real.
Give yourself to a higher power.
I saw the article.
So let me give you a little. This article here was written by Prohibited. With
it's a weird name.
Yeah, with no I or E. So PROHBTD.
That is tight.
Word.
That's tight.
Word. I want to read you guys a little story, and then we'll just kind of wax poetic on that for a minute. On a December day in 1960, Baptist minister Reverend William Potoroka.
What was that? Minister
Reverend William Potoroka had one of the most transcendent spiritual experiences of his life. It was an event that would reframe his understanding of science, spirituality, and of his own personal vocation. I felt I was ascending a spiral staircase and that this was leading me up into the light, he recalled. It was as if my ascent would soon put me within gazing distance of God and his throne. Potoroka's encounter with the numinous didn't take place inside of a church, nor was it prompted by a particularly potent session of prayer. It occurred at the Weyburn Mental Hospital in Saskatchewan, Canada. But Potoroka wasn't crazy. He wasn't a patient at the hospital. He'd come there to investigate an experimental treatment for alcoholism. The Reverend had come to the mental hospital to take LSD. Today, the idea of Canadian ministers popping tabs of acid in a sanitarium sounds more like a scene from a Jodorowsky film.
Jodorowsky?
A Jodorowsky film.
Jodorowsky?
But in the early 60s, before the psychedelic revolution made LSD synonymous with paisley garments, spiked Kool-Aid, and free love, and events such as this one made at least slightly more sense. A recently published thesis written by Michael James Christopher Lyons at the University of Saskatchewan endeavors to explain how Reverend Podoroka's experience came to pass. Likewise, the thesis connects his subsequent realizations with the current boom in psychedelic science by exploring the confluence of social, religious, and scientific factors that led to his trip. This is something that somebody was bringing up online, and it was, I would say, somebody that was well versed in psychedelics and in, you know, cannabis and counterculture. Won't do that.
Name them.
And this just totally took them by surprise. But realizing that perhaps the self-reflective insights that their patients reported might be a more effective avenue toward recovery than chemically induced terror, doctors at the University of Saskatchewan and the Weyburn Mental Hospital, Abram Hoffer, Humphrey Osmond, and Sven Jensen, decided to change their approach. Instead of attempting to stimulate delirium tremens, they began a series of trials that would pair LSD's novel capacity for prompting self-examination and spirituality with a far less invasive treatment for alcohol. So this actually wasn't the first time somebody thought to do it. So the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, I'm going to pull this up here. Geez, this is a long one here. The founder of psychedelics, the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, had an experience that he had written a paper to the rest of the board of Alcoholics Anonymous saying, I had this experience. It has completely quelled all of my tastes and cravings for alcohol. It was because Alcoholics Anonymous, I've never done the 12-step program.
Well, it's interesting how
I had got a, I'll just say it. I got a DUI while I was in the military. I got a little like blew a .10 kind of thing. I was court ordered to go to like 2 AA meetings. Or no, I think I had to go to 4. And I went to 2, and then I had somebody forge the signatures.
Steps. How could you only?
It wasn't like you have to complete the program. It's just like, this is going to be you if you don't. Yeah, and that's fun because the people there, and they had to know that's why you're there.
Oh,
you're like this young person, and they're all sitting there. And like we came in and sat down, and one of the things they did was they're like, okay, now we pray. And everybody, like the people on the side of me,
it's very faith-based,
grabbed
right?
my hands, and everybody just held hands. I'm like, whoa, no, I'm not. No, And I was
feel
like,
connected.
Do I feel what?
Did you feel connected?
No, not at all. I wanted my hands back. I didn't want to touch the. There's,
I know.
No clue who these people were.
See,
One
my
lady
favorite
cried.
part.
It was weird.
My favorite part of church was peace be with you. But you kind of know the
shake
people
hands?
you're shaking.
Sure, yeah.
I had no clue it was coming. It was weird.
Yeah,
I know. Bill Wilson was the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous.
Oh, Billy Wills.
And he'd taken LSD and written the series of letters to his colleagues, as I was saying, espousing its positive mental after effects and considering its potential for helping alcoholics recover. He later distanced himself from AA entirely, as many other influential members of the program took issue with the idea of incorporating a psychoactive drug into a system of steps designed to end drug use. But Wilson wasn't alone in seeing LSD's potential to aid addicts on their path to recovery, and the specific aspect of the acid experience he thought most promising for this use was precisely what Dr. Jensen identified in his trials. So,
buddy,
we talk about the healing aspect of
I'm on acid right now.
That's why you haven't been drinking.
Yeah. No, I find it strange that some people will come to that revelation kind of on their own, maybe without much intention. But I knew a bunch of drunks who were like, yeah, I'll do acid too. You know what I mean? They were just kind of throwing it in the mixed bag of things. I always think that's interesting what kind of minds automatically kind of go there to say, whoa, this is a profound experience. Life is far too precious to be thrown my liver and organs away by, because I have allegedly after something like that, you want to get healthy and you want to you kind of understand things and you're like, whoa, okay.
Totally.
I got to do better for myself and everyone around me. You know, my theory, bud, we all got to turn on before the machines come. So this is just a step in the right direction. It's weird. The 13th step in the right direction. Thank you. Thank you. Shut it down. So, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I
had nothing after that.
I saw you swimming. I was treading water. I'm going to throw you a lifesaver.
How do you use the thing?
Here we go. Where's the dad sick? Craig's dad sick was Bell. Anyway, yeah, there you go. When my dad was sick, I did my first ayahuasca I had my first
Allegedly.
ayahuasca experience, allegedly, in
I
a
don't know.
totally legal place to take ayahuasca.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you go into these ceremonies, they tell you to have intention, to go in there with something that you want to work on, you want to fix.
They're like, think
quote
about the
unquote.
devil.
Yeah, that's what I did. I went in there just watching Slayer videos right before leading up to it. But oddly enough, I got a lot of peace and understanding about my mortality. We talk about that all the time. But one of the things that I did not ask for was to let alcohol go. I was a big fan of the hooch. Are you okay? I was a big fan of the hooch. He's gonna let that Pepsi come out his nose.
Wild cherry Pepsi.
Think about. I'm sorry, but that think about the devil. It's just remind me of our guy earlier too.
I'm with you. I'm with you. So
you're talking about. I used to like the hooch. Like it was all good.
Big fan of the hooch.
It was all good.
Well, and actually, considering my track record throughout my life, when my dad was at his sickest and he was dying, I mean, probably 2 months away from dying, 3 months away from dying at this point.
That's when you said, think about the devil.
Yeah, that's when I'm sitting here. I actually, funny sidebar. We were sitting around when my dad was sick, me and my brother and sister, we all moved back home. We were all with my dad every day until the end. And so
he's like, leave.
It was like, guys, go live your life. Get out of here.
Wait,
you think there's maybe a couple of things I want to do with your mom before I pass on? Get out.
I want to hit her just once.
Just one time. Just to feel what it's like.
I'm sorry. I'm on one today, guys. I'm sorry.
So it gave us an opportunity to watch all the movies that my dad always wanted me to watch, and I just didn't have time to check
what
out.
a great. Yeah,
Let's watch home movies for months.
No. But like he was too sick to really go anywhere. I tried to take him on vacation. He was in pain. So it was like, but he would talk about like old movies, like The Man Who Would Be King. It's a Sean Connery and Michael Caine movie where they become kings in Afghanistan. You got to check it out. It's a 70s flick. It's great. All these different old 70s flicks I never had the time for. So we're all kind of bouncing movie suggestions, things that we should watch together, and enjoy our time with Dad. And I am an idiot. Look at me. I'm a dumb human being. Okay. There's a movie called John Dies at the End. I had just watched it. Terrific sci-fi flick. And I'm like, I'm all excited. I'm like, oh, guys, I got this sci-fi flick. We got to check it. Dad, we got to check out this movie. It's called John Dies at the End.
And your dad's name?
My dad's name's John.
And your dad's name?
Yeah, my dad's name's John. So anyway, that was kind of a quick sidebar. But one of the things I wasn't expecting.
Well, what was the reaction?
They looked at me.
You were
they
making
looked at
some
me
kind
like,
of a joke.
No, they looked at me like I just was completely clueless to the world around me because
you're
in
like,
that moment,
my dad's dying.
That's right, he's totally dying. And his
that's
name's
your name.
Dang it.
I'm the worst.
Joey.
I'm the worst.
That was
son.
a Joey moment.
I'm the worst son.
You just
So-
For what it's worth, I'm gonna die too.
Yeah, we're all terminal. We're all terminal.
But
and he's like, I'll take you out with me.
One of the things that I ended up taking out of this ayahuasca experience was I had no cravings for alcohol whatsoever. Not only did I not have cravings for it, the thought of drinking alcohol kind of just turned my stomach.
How quick did that go away? Because I've seen you.
It lasted for 7 months.
Really?
I've shared a bucket of gin with you.
Yeah.
Yes, we drank it out of a boot.
I'm a whole new person.
Yeah, we drank it out of a boot. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm a big fan of the hooch.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
But that's
and
interesting.
I came out of this experience with not only no cravings, because I don't think I ever craved alcohol, but like the idea of even when all my
body
friends,
just craved.
when all of my friends would go out and stuff, I could still go out to the bar and stuff with them. I'm just drinking water. Yeah. Like I had everybody's
like fun Bobby died.
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day was in the middle of this whole thing, and everyone's like, "Oh, come on, we gotta have one green beer," and I'm like, "Not for me. Sorry,
I'm Portuguese."
Yeah, Irish. Yeah. Anyway, so I totally believe in the anti-addictive properties of psychedelics, what they can do, and I wanted to kind of go over this last little paragraph here, considering that in indigenous communities. This same dual role of healer and spiritual guide has traditionally been occupied by shamans who successfully use psychedelics to heal their patients for millennia. Perhaps an understanding of how spirituality relates to illness is the missing link in the field of psychedelic science. Perhaps Jensen, Podoroka, Wilson, and the other doctors who participated in the trials at Weyburn learned something that modern medicine is about to rediscover. Conceivably, blending the spiritual and the scientific is the way future practitioners will will treat alcoholism, depression, and many other psychological and medical conditions in the very near future. Maybe it's just a real simple component that's missing.
That made me think of Alone.
I think you just skip the first 12 steps then.
Probably.
Just give yourself to a higher power and then eat some acid.
It made me think of Alone and how the winner of the first season says that we've kind of lost that coming of age moment that the tribes had.
Where you become a man?
Yeah, where you go out in the woods or the women have a ceremony or whatever you got to do to become an adult in the eyes of
to be truly baptized into adulthood.
Yeah, and a lot of times it was you'd go stay out in the woods or kill a lion or, knit something for the ladies. I don't know. God, I'm the worst human. God.
Well, there went 40% down to 27%. We lost it.
I kid.
Have all my shirts ironed by this time.
I'm the worst.
Let's not follow this rabbit hole.
But
you're the worst.
Okay, here's the deal though. And a subspecies like me and my stupid brain. I mean,
what is that like?
The psychedelics are going. You don't even want to know. Think of the devil. So
here to get closer to Satan.
Yeah. So I really do think psychedelics. I mean, we've had some people on the show who have backed us up. Really, the science guys of the world,
Johns Hopkins professors that I can't speak to,
that said. And the Oaksterdam, or not Oaksterdam, Oakland. We had the Oakland guys on.
Yeah, from Decriminalize.
Sean and Corinth.
That was them. Yeah, Sean and Corinth.
Oh, that was Corinth. That's why I popped up. Here we go. All right. So when they came on, they were talking about the how it can really change the landscape of everything.
Totally.
To where I think a lot of bad choices are based in greed that have very enormous consequences. There's a lot of greed-based decision making. And if everyone could turn on, if we can get more people, more leaders of these giant companies, and it's weird because we're in an age where we're seeing all these freedom, Facebook, I get to say what I want, I get to do. They all get so big that they're like, you can't say anything anymore. And so here,
I think we're furthest from free that we've ever been when it comes to expression.
But we're getting closer to the blockchain and really being like, okay, maybe this is the next wave of everything. But until we can get a lot of could you imagine some of these politicians going to ceremony with intention?
Oh, buddy.
Wow.
No
Let's
doubt.
see where their decisions go. Let's see when it happens on a group level. Let's see when Congress goes
I could
to
see like
Peru
Massey or Paul being down.
Oh man, well, I
could
could see plenty of people on the left. I think
Massey's admitted to doing DMT on the Senate floor.
I think that AOC, that's weird
Allegedly.
because he's a House member. So I guess, yeah.
Is
Like,
that
I'm going to
the
go
same
over to the
deal?
Senate and I'm going to blow
You think he's going to do it in the House?
That's why I didn't get in trouble.
Are you dumb?
Yeah.
He didn't even have to work that day. Walked in regular clothes. I spoke DMT.
I mean, for all the things I disagree with her on, the fact that AOC brought up a psychedelic amendment to the floor, we are making serious strides. It's just a shame that how we got here in the first place. I mean, basically that article was talking about how when this drug was developed, it was already being used for a host of psychiatric, fixes.
You guys,
psychological fixes.
You guys like a good conspiracy theory? Is there any truth to the government's keeping these specific hallucinogens illegal because they're going to open people's minds and see the truth?
Yeah, definitely.
So I
think that's entirely the reason.
There's cultures that have oppressed even like things like meditation, things you can do without taking anything because it makes you.
That's interesting. That's crazy. No, the controlling mind. If you're a dictator, that's the
1,000,000% why it was even outlawed in the first place.
See, I wonder sometimes if they didn't realize the power that we think that it might have today. Like I feel like they demonized cannabis much more, and cannabis is like sometimes you can have a pretty profound thought on cannabis, but I would not put it in the category of the psychedelics by any means necessary. I know you said you tripped on it, whatever. Yes.
Try not to get high for like a week and then go just hit the
fan.
or just buy it off of some shady character and you're not like
I'll quit for a year. I'll quit for a year right now. Now, as long as it's not frankincense. But I sometimes wonder if they didn't know. They said, "Oh yeah, this stuff can really be some housewives are seeing that everything's connected and it's all good, but and we saw the scene in Pineapple Express where they give it to the soldiers. You've seen the scene where they give it to the British soldiers, and they tell them to go follow orders. And the one guy's like climbing a tree. They're laughing. That's one of the best videos ever. That's got to be scary. But they also used it in MK Ultra, and I mean, wasn't that the Unabomber?
Well, I think anything good, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
the Unabomber was MK Ultra. The experiments with
there's all kinds
LSD.
of guys that were tested on. Yeah, but I'm like, but what were they doing with those guys? They were expanding their consciousness, and who knows, using them for psyops and.
Dang right they were.
I mean,
so you think?
Let's not forget the Manson family ate a lot of acid.
Oh, there's plenty of negative. I mean, you can,
and they chopped those people up.
Could you imagine doing that on acid?
I've seen pictures of.
No, I can't.
Well, they didn't do it on acid.
Hard
they did
just
it on
thinking
speed.
about it.
In the interview, they said they
Scott,
did.
Did you want to say something? We got to hold on, guys.
Scott.
Hold on. We got an intern, Scott.
Intern Scotty's a new one.
Everyone, be quiet for 4 seconds, and then we'll let him talk.
We're live.
I was just gonna say, have you guys seen The Men Who Stare at Goats?
Yes.
Because that's about government putting acid in the water or the eggs or something like that.
No doubt. With
That's
George
based on a
Clooney
true
and-
story.
Is that a Coen brother movie?
Yeah, I think it was based on a true story.
George Clooney in there?
Yeah.
Dang right he
The
was.
Cloonster.
The Cloonster.
Or they
I don't
say
know. I
it's
prefer
not
the
based on a true
late
story.
'90s George.
Yeah, exactly. It's not
It's
based. Not based on truth. That was Scott, everybody. Welcome. All right. That's the last time you'll ever
Scott
get to say anything on this show.
Ever.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Craig.
Something great.
Yes.
We're gonna take a break pretty soon. We're
Okay.
not quite up against it.
All right.
But I do want to. We do have a new segment tonight.
What is
we're,
it?
We're gonna premiere right now. You do a lot of Facebook lives.
I do.
Like half my notifications are like Craig's live. I'm like, oh really?
How do I get
Yeah,
those?
Craig recklessly.
hang
You
on.
don't get them.
It's typically once a day. It's on my drive into work in the morning.
You do.
I have
You talk. On
I have about a
his-
30-minute drive. I
I
typically
know, but I
get
don't.
5 minutes down the road, and then I start my live, which takes me into the parking lot, and then we're good to go. Just a way to
It's
check in with
great.
the Hoosiers.
I love
Way to start a conversation.
Bobby
in the
Joe.
morning, see what's going on.
You have some great moments on
Oh.
your Facebook Live. So here's our new.
This is
we'll call
very
it.
scary.
It's kind of a micro segment. Me and Steve are going to pick out some of our
wait.
favorite moments in a little segment we're calling Craig moments. So here's our
I haven't
first.
heard this
Here's
yet.
our first Craig moment. Let's hear it.
You might see things become more popular, like meth, like heroin, opioids. Is the fact that pharmaceutical company pump opioids into the system. It's not. Oh, Jesus Christ! I was supposed to have a sales meeting today. I totally forgot. Damn it. Anyway, I'm sitting here talking about amphetamines and their hold on me. Jesus Christ, this is embarrassing. Whatever.
And that's, ladies and gentlemen, that's Craig moments.
Actually, that's
It gets
technically
so deep on his Facebook Lives. I almost got him to talk about meth today, and he's like, "I'm not going down that
All
rabbit
right,
hole
guys, no
again."
more. You were like lecturers, like kids. All right, no more meth comments. And then I just started hammering them in. Like, I just cooked some.
Yeah, that was so
Allegedly.
good.
Yeah, in my STP.
Yeah, that's well. You got to be.
Is that the only one we got for tonight?
Yep.
Okay, that's good.
Technically, that's the second time we've done that. We had another good one.
Oh, that's
back in the
right.
day. We just didn't
That's
have a name
right.
for it.
That's right.
That
Is
was
that one still in
good.
the system?
I
Can we
will-
play that?
I don't want to dig it up now. We
Okay,
might play
okay.
it later.
Because that's a great one too.
I will break your effing mouth.
Yeah,
I was
that's a
like,
good one.
Craig,
I know.
Well, okay.
big old lovey teddy bear.
I'd
Craig
like
will
to.
break
I'd like to
your-
tell you there was this
explain
whole
this.
deep thing that was going on. We were talking about meth. And just to give you a little backstory, as you heard, I was pulling into. That was the moment that I was pulling into the parking lot at work, realizing that I was a half hour late for a sales meeting.
His face. Craig's a showman. He's a salesman. You know, like he's pure a lot of the time, but he's very
I can be on. I can
Yes.
be on whenever.
Yes. But that moment when I noticed that you noticed those cars, it was just pure unadulterated Craig in his purest form. And I was like, oh, I'm going to snort that up right now. That's one of my favorite moments of all time. Thank you, Seth, for playing that on the radio show.
In fact, when we go to break, we're gonna play that one more time after Craig throws us to break. Cool.
Are we up against it right now? What do we got the second hour? What do we got?
Ooh, it's the return of everyone's favorite game show. This is an old school segment. It's taken out of context.
That's a great game.
We're gonna be playing.
I
Taken Out
love
of
a little taken out of
Context.
context. You know, I that brings up a little deal. The last time I won a game, which was a couple of weeks ago,
Oh,
I
no.
didn't change his profile.
Oh,
picture.
yeah.
It's all right.
You should.
Yeah, well, there's
All
a
right.
statute.
You'll
of
win this.
limitations
You
on that.
always win this.
I haven't listened to a lot of our shows here lately.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's good.
I've been trying to find other content out there.
Uh,
It's not as good as ours, but
we have a bunch of new commercials. I think maybe a few.
let's talk about this real quick. All right. This entire
got
first
more in the
hour,
bag.
This entire first hour is brought to you by CarltonInsurance.net.
James Carlton Insurance.
He's so handsome.
State Farm.
He's so responsible.
beautiful.
Fantastical.
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 No, seriously, he's fantastical. 314-961-4800. Guys, if you have not given him a shot
Call him,
at your
please,
business,
God.
he's probably going to save you money. You're probably going to be covered better than you've ever been covered. Covered even better than like Hoosier Valley orgies. Okay? Like you're covered up real good, all right, at James Carlton State Farm. Give him a shout. CarltonInsurance.net. He's the best insurance agent in the game. You're crazy not to use him. But I did want to tell you, one of our newest sponsors, he's been with us from the beginning, but we're shifting gears a little bit. Blake Bell at bellchirostl.com, Bell Chiropractic and Pain Management. They have so many services that I couldn't possibly tell you all of them, but I'm going to do my darndest. Okay. Here's what they're doing down there. On top of being just a top-notch chiropractic clinic, you get in a little car accident, you need to go out and see Blake. You get a little fender bender, he'll crack you up.
Yep.
He'll crack you up.
Yeah, he will.
Funny guy. They're doing medical weight loss there. They're doing, for fatty fats like me.
That's
you need
hilarious.
it. Fatty.
Okay. They're doing testosterone therapy for guys.
I need it.
I'm about ready to just get. Is there a way that we can go straight to the source with that needle?
Into your pee-pee?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, probably. Sure.
I'm gonna get jacked.
Let's do it.
All right.
Great live read again.
DOT testing.
DMT testing?
Dot testing. I'm going to say that. Tattoo and hair removal. Plus, they're doing your medical marijuana certifications.
Do they remove hair from the tip?
They'll remove hair from where you got hair?
I believe
It's gone.
Okay. Well, I also have
It's gone.
But there's a little bit.
Gone.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I get it.
So check out Bell Chiro STL, Bell Chiropractic and Pain Management. They're making this whole shebang. We'll tell you about the other sponsors on the other side of the break.
Have you been in a car accident?
Have I? Yeah.
Did your neck hurt a lot?
One time it did, but I didn't want to take the people.
My neck hurts.
Yeah.
And it's because of carrying you this entire show.
I don't blame you. Here's what we're gonna do.
Baby, got him.
I'm gonna send him out to Blake. Blake's going to wear that really tight Swiss
Army knife,
Swiss masseuse, and he's just gonna get in there real good with the elbows. He's gonna get in there real good with the elbows, get you nice and.
I need it.
Well, get out there.
I need it.
Oh, with a K?
Jeez Louise.
Mark, play that clip again and let's go to break, big boy.
Somebody should put a straitjacket on this guy.
Okay.
That's Seth making coitus.
No,
juice.
don't play that.
You
Mark,
can't
stop, hit the stop button. Man, you are.
Like meth, like heroin, opioids.
Oh,
It's
man.
The fact that pharmaceutical company pump opioids into the system. It's not. Jesus Christ! I was supposed to have a sales meeting today. Totally forgot. Damn it. Anyway, I'm sitting here talking about amphetamines and their hold on me. Jesus Christ.
And their hold on
me. Whatever.
Guys, this is Hoosier Sophisticate. On the other side of the break, we're going to get weird and play a little taken out of context. Stick around.
Yanks come home. After a hard-fought battle in the Aleutian Islands, and after saving the homes, ideals, and values of free people from Axis domination, our boys and girls are coming home after kicking Hitler's butt. Oh boy. On the home front, Bell Chiropractic and Pain Management has been helping our boys and girls with back pain, primary care, and medical marijuana physician certification, the devil's lettuce. Visit Bell Chiro STL for more details.
Lifetime.
Yeah.
It lasts a lifetime. Come on. It lasts a lifetime. Yeah. And just go Google it. I wanna let go those shingles down, girl, for you. I'm gonna lay those shingles down, boy, for you. I'm gonna do some siding, get you excited. James Hardy siding. Google it. Roof up for a lifetime. You know I make your neighbors cry. Boo, boo. Cause we tell all them leaks go bye. And you know we all do the side. James Hardy, boy, yeah.
Guys, Lifetime Roofing. They're the best roofers in the game. Best customer service. LifetimeSTL.com. Google them.
Spiders are found on nearly every continent on the earth. Bugs and arachnids and insects and other little critters are vital to the earth's homeostasis, keeping our planet in balance and making all of our lives better. They are vital, beautiful little creatures. Unless you come in my house, and then I'm calling Rose Extermination. Rose Extermination!
Hey guys, it's me, Kippy the Crazy Koala Bear, and I'm here to tell you about James Carlton Insurance.
It's quiet down.
It's the best.
It's quiet down and listen to Kippy.
Grown-ups need insurance, and Uncle James can help.
Right on.
Grown-ups need insurance. He's got the best reviews on Yelp. Grown-ups need insurance if they want to protect their house.
Yes, sir.
Grown-ups need insurance if they want to properly bury a spouse.
That's a bit more.
Grown-ups need insurance if they drive a truck.
Okay.
Grown-ups need insurance just so they don't get.
Whoa, Kippy, you can't.
Well, I was just
no,
going to
you
say
cannot.
get in trouble.
Okay, well, it
you
sounded
don't
like you
want
were
to
going
get in trouble.
like you were going to say something else. James Carlton, State Farm Insurance. You can find them online at carltoninsurance.net, or you can call them at 314-961-4800.
Hey girl, where you wanna go?
I don't care, I just love you.
Are you hungry? Do you wanna get something to eat?
I don't care, I'm kinda hungry.
Well, what sounds good?
Anything sounds good, you pick.
How about some Mexican?
No, I had that for lunch yesterday.
How about we get some Italian food?
Ew.
Okay, now you're not saying anything and just
I
giving
just
me a
want
look.
something delicious.
What does that even mean?
I want to sit outside.
Applebee's?
Applebee's
No,
is
Applebee's.
gross.
Well,
I'm not
Applebee's is
eating
good.
Applebee's.
I don't know why you're
Applebee's
always
fries
hating on
are
Applebee's.
disgusting.
Applebee's is one of
They're
my favorite darn
gross.
places to go ever.
I'm not eating Applebee's.
I wanna go to Truman's. Let's go to Truman's. Soulard, go to Truman's. I wanna go to Truman's. And Soulard, take me to Truman's. We agree on Truman's. I agree on Truman's. Soulard, I love Truman's. Soulard.
Truman's and Soulard, a place we can all agree upon.
Sergeant Jabari Wright.
In the Army, I was trained as a combat lifesaver. In 2012, had an accident and became paralyzed. I was used to working in healthcare and how am I supposed to help people, and I'm in a wheelchair now. It really severely impacted my confidence.
Jim Arndt, PAVE Program, Paralyzed Veterans of America.
PAVE helps veterans rebuild lives with valuable careers. We assess the skills, build the resumes, and help with the interviewing skills to be able to find a career that our veterans are looking for.
PVA took what I was doing in the military and helped me translate that to meaningful employment in the civilian sector. Hooking up with them helped to empower me.
PAVE really concentrates on the one-on-one relationships. Unlike other programs that measure success by placements alone, PAVE places greater emphasis on quality jobs and continued support, our Partner for Life guarantee.
To learn more, visit pva.org. A public service message from Paralyzed Veterans of America.
When we installed internet access on our computer, I got the whole family involved. It was a lot of work, but it was really worth it.
That's right, Dad. Now the whole family can stream WGNU live by visiting WGNU920am.com.
We installed the internet on our computer just a short time ago, and I haven't been able to get the kids off it ever since.
That's right. Isn't the internet neat? You can also listen to past shows and featured interviews on our homepage.
No wonder you guys are always so busy on the computer.
WGNU920am.com. Point, click, and listen live.
It's really cool.
In order to get the principle of a network across, I have to convey to you an idea which is extremely simple, but which is difficult to grasp only because we're not used to it. We are used to thinking as Westerners, as having a certain kind of language, and therefore a certain kind of logic that goes with it. We're used to thinking of the world in terms of the game of billiards. In other words, we are still thinking about our psychology, our bodies, and their relationship to the outside world in terms of what would scientifically be called Newtonian mechanics.
You're live with Stephen Elgin and Craig Kohler. This is Hoosier Sophisticate Radio, everybody. Presented by Mycelio Media. Let's chill, St. Louis.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, non-binaries, sentient artificial intelligence.
I just wanted to shout out Ricky Starlin and the
do that
Missouri Medical Cannabis Network.
What a group.
They stay playing our videos, so I'll shout them out all day long. That's how I play this game.
No doubt.
No holds barred.
No doubt.
But Ricky's got a great thing going on
WGNU 920 AM. If you put a .com behind it, you can listen to us anywhere live in the world. Facebook Live, YouTube, Mycelial Media. There's all kinds of good stuff going. We're trying to put it out there. This is for you. You guys help make this whole thing happen.
Yeah, we got a lot of you liking the Craig's moment, and they're saying that was great. That needs to be on every week. That's awesome. I don't agree with a lot of you.
Well, there's when you have the incoherent ramblings of a madman every morning on his way to work, you're going to get some gold in there because who knows what I'm going to be rambling about any other day. I literally have no idea what I'm going to talk about.
I know.
Second I get in the car.
I love it. I need to get some of that Ty Cobb sound.
Oh, the Ty Cobb sound was that was one of my favorites.
Immaculate.
One of my faves.
Do we talk about another sponsor here? Do we give another shout out?
We probably
Let's do it.
Let's do it. What about Lifetime Roofing?
Roof?
Guys, exterior work. You have a roof. It's been raining like a mow.
Lifetime
outside.
Roofing now.
Okay.
Just go Google.
You got little spots coming up in your little ceiling? Got little spots? Guess what? You got a hole in your roof. You know who's going to fix the hole in your roof? Lifetime Roofing. LifetimeSTL.com. Just go Google them.
Just go Google it.
You need some siding? They'll get it done. They'll even fly a drone over your house. They will give you a free estimate. I think, correct me if I'm wrong here. Will they do like a 3D rendering of what your roof will look like?
They do. Just Google it.
Just go Google it.
They do Google it. They do. And just go Google it.
Okay. Lifetime Roofing. LifetimeSTL.com. They're awesome.
They doodle it.
Seth,
Google it.
What's up?
Do we have a game?
We do have a game. You are very familiar with this game. It's been a while.
Since I could.
I'm fired up,
hold
Seth.
my head up high, and it's been a while
since I said I'm sorry.
Not a big Stained guy.
Sure. Why not? Yeah, that sounds great.
He's answering a question out loud. Okay, so anyways,
Great.
this is
No,
America's favorite game show, fastest growing game show. I forgot what I used to always say, but anyways, this is taken out of context.
Clap, everybody, clap.
All right, and for those who don't know, this is where we just simply take a little snippet, little something you said, kind of like your Craig moment, only it's a lot shorter, 4 to 6 seconds.
Okay. It's gonna be tough.
It's out of context. All you got to do is put it back in context.
Okay.
And of course, we all know what happens when somebody loses a game on this show. Craig, tell them.
The winner gets to pick the loser's profile picture for 3 days, 72 hours.
I think we went 48
hours. Yeah.
Let's do 3 days. Let's up the ante.
All right.
72
New Year.
72 hours.
Where's that bell at? You got a bell over there? Okay.
I do.
What have been some of
let's
the
give
past
Scott something to
pitchers?
do. You're going to ring the bell every time they're correct.
The MLS.
And you got to punch them
STL.
every time they're wrong.
Pull those shorts up. That was a good one.
All right, you guys ready to play? We all know how to play. We all know the rules. Oh, and also just to remind you, you get I think 1 steal, right?
One steal.
You
That's
get
how we
one
always
steal.
play. That's how we always play.
Yeah, that's the first time we just kind of made up the rules.
How many rounds you got?
We got 4 and a tiebreaker.
Oh, perfect.
All right.
So I guess we're going
Strap in, everybody, because we're about ready to get.
Come on, brain.
Let's go with Craig number 1.
Oh my.
How's that taste?
I'd like to have that on a little biscuit.
Okay.
I do know.
This was a Momed Canco honey sample. I wanted to have it on my little breakfast biscuit.
Yep.
CBD honey.
Hit the bell.
Ring it a few times.
I'm taking it easy on you today.
Thank you. That was good. That was good. I knew it too. Darn it.
I almost said the peanut butter, but I was like, I would put peanut butter.
I knew it
on
was
a
honey.
biscuit.
Oh yeah, we did do both.
Yeah,
Peanut butter
yeah,
and
we
honey.
did.
I know,
All right,
sandwich.
all right,
I
let
just
me
like the
lose
way you
this.
said biscuits. But anyway, let's Steve, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
You put the pressure on me already, like Ty Cobb.
All right. Steve, number 1.
And I was like, do I smash that kid's dreams because my kid's an idiot?
What?
One more thing I also forgot to mention. You
We do
get
get a
one
repeat,
You get
yeah.
one repeat.
Per round?
No, wait, do we?
Yeah, one per
We'll
round.
do one.
Play that again, Mark.
And I was like, do I smash that kid's dreams because my kid's an idiot?
What?
What?
I love both my kids. I don't know who said that or who did a deep fake.
Just
of
tell me
my
why
voice.
you would say something like that.
Because there was a birthday party and the kid wanted to stay overnight, and it was thing about staying overnight at the birthday party, and he really wanted my kid to go. And I was like, I'm not gonna smash that kid's dream because my kid's in it. And it was like, no. It was playing a game, Fortnite, and I didn't want to smash the other kid's dream. It was either birthday party or Fortnite, and I didn't want to punish the other kid because my kid did something dumb.
I mean, I'll give it to you.
That's like a half point. He was right the first time. It had nothing
Yeah,
to do with Fortnite.
it's basically a sleepover. kind of
Okay,
thing.
good. I lost it for a second. I was like, I'm gonna cover all
We got
my
ones.
bases.
We got ones. We got a ball game.
All right, nodded at 1. All right, let's go round 2. Craig, number 2.
Still hate people that don't look like me, but I got a free coffee. Gotta say it's a good day.
You hate people that don't look like you, but you got a free coffee. You have any clue what the conversation
Oh,
was?
I do. Oh, it's just right on the tip of my tongue.
This is actually one of my favorite moments on the show, the whole thing, like the whole 1 minute thing.
When did he get a free coffee? That's what I'm trying to think.
It's not me. I'm not the one that hates people that don't look like me. It's
but at least he got a free.
all right.
Want your
I
playback?
think we were talking about a mega church having a Starbucks inside of it. And the people wanted to, the church had everything that they could to offer, bowling alleys and stuff. And they had a little Starbucks. And hey, still, I don't know. I think that's what it is.
No.
Oh, yeah, we have a buzzer sound effect, don't we, on our drops? I think so. Can you find that? It might take a second, but you are wrong. We were
Nice,
talking. You're
Hold
doing
on, I get a chance to steal?
Do you want to steal?
I don't know.
You get a
Go ahead.
chance. No, he doesn't want to.
Do you want?
What, Mark? Come on, that's not. Jeez. All right.
That was your impersonation of a white supremacist when I said, "Can a white supremacist have a good day?" And you're like, "Sure, they can."
Oh,
And you did a whole thing.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. remember that.
I did a whole thing.
I don't remember ever talking about a mega
You
church
did a
with a
whole
star.
I made
Me
all
neither.
of that up.
Yeah, I
on the
don't
spot.
remember that
I
either.
just made that entire scenario up.
Whoa, that was great improv.
Yeah.
What if somehow I have that written
Well, you
down?
guys were sitting here wondering where it was at in the show. Clearly, it was great improv.
Yeah, I nailed it, dude.
Are we on Steve next?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah, we're on
Steve. No,
Steve.
okay,
I didn't hold
still,
serve.
Still tied at 1.
I didn't
I'm
hold
really surprised. I thought you were gonna nail that one. Steve, number 2.
Oh, this could be good for the show. This is the second station I've been booted off of.
Ooh, that's obscure.
Oh, this could be good for the show.
It's so weird. You
The
sound exactly.
second station I've been booted off of.
That didn't do anything.
Think of a reason you'd be kicked off the air.
It has something to do with the CBD and talking about cannabis.
This is probably your toughest one I got for you.
It's tough.
I would say that we were talking about cannabis on the show.
Oh, whoa. Don't go too far out on a limb.
And I referenced the old show that I was on.
Buzz them.
Yeah.
Don't listen, Mark.
Craig,
don't
are you
listen
trying
to
to wait? Do you want to steal?
No, I'm not stealing. That's just a ridiculous answer. We talked about cannabis, and then
If that was the answer, I would not have used it.
and then I covered that I got kicked off of another radio station talking about cannabis. Boy, what moment was that?
Okay.
July 2nd, April 4th, March 17th. No, Steve, do you remember?
giving off a
do you
Bradley
remember?
Cooper vibe.
Do you remember when I was gone and Craig told me you dropped a little Effie bomb, and we decided to play a little joke.
That was my stab.
Played a little joke and told you were
I was
suspended
mad.
from air. Yep. That was that
You're
day.
so happy that I was so mad.
Steve
I've
does
never
not
seen
like
you smile.
jokes. I was
You
like,
guys took it so far. I love a good joke. I'll joke around all day, Seth.
Tom Roger says, totally forgot you silly sea suckers were on. Right on. And Mike Ote says, were you supposed to be Clint Eastwood there?
No.
All right.
Yes.
Skin that smoke wagon.
Question 3. We're still knotted up at once.
All right, round 2 did not go anybody's way. Let's hear Craig number 3.
I can't tell you how many of my buddies' dads I've seen in those very same tidy whities.
Okay. I know what this says. We were talking about embarrassing stories, and my dad had answered my front door in his leopard print briefs for in a horrific
I actually
environment. And we talked about how we'd been to all of our friends' houses where South City dad has just had a long day mowing or at work or whatever, and he's just lounging around in the tidy whities. That's what happened.
I feel like it was a story with someone I saw an old man in tidy whities.
It was the same day. It was the day Plowsy was in studio. You did dad stories.
Oh, so is he right?
He is correct,
Okay.
I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid.
Thank you.
It's so stupid. If we had all the moments of Craig talking about older gentlemen in their underwear, then we'd have all.
That's what made the
best
answer
of.
all that more impressive. I had to dig that out
I
of
know.
a
I'm
Rolodex of
amazed.
dads and skivvies.
I know.
Steve, let's hear. We're on round
I
3,
just up.
right?
I got knotted up. I'm knotted up.
Steve,
And I'm gay as the day is long, and the days are getting longer.
Once
I want to
again-
hear that again. Yeah.
Once again, that's so deep. Like, how many times has Steve said that on our show? You're done.
And I'm gay as the day is long, and the days are getting longer.
It has to do with clothing.
No. Don't give me any hints because it has to do with the days getting longer. So summer.
You're thinking
You're
way
going
too-
way
I'm
too
kidding.
far on that.
No, I said it in reference. I said something before it, and that was like me covering my butt, saying that I'm gay. And what? Okay, so there's a moment.
It's that time I called myself gay. Craig was wearing Eastery kind of bright clothing, and I called him out on it. And you jumped into his defense.
Oh,
thanks,
You
buddy.
said I like the colors. I like Easter colors.
You said they were gay.
Something like that.
You say that on the show, and we have to immediately. I have to do things
You have
like
to
that.
cover it.
That's
Oh,
gay.
yeah.
We're gay.
See, exactly.
Nice. All right.
That's what we've.
Mark, well done.
We've devolved into. Well done, Mark.
So did you just take the lead 2-1?
Yeah, he
2-1.
did.
Oh, Steve's are pretty
Last
tough.
round, he can end it here. He can put it out of reach.
No,
we're gonna listen to the tiebreaker regardless.
If you get this, I can't tie.
Oh, that was question 3. Okay, this is
We're
question.
still gonna, you know how we do. We're just gonna go through them all. Let's hear Craig, number 4, I believe.
All these beautiful little Southsiders looking at me like, oh, that poor sap.
Tuesday. No. Like every day of my life.
I gave you each a few vague ones to keep it interesting.
Think. Play that again, please.
All these beautiful little Southsiders looking at me like, oh, that poor sap.
Thursday? Did you say Tuesday?
Yeah, like it's just every day of my life. I'm gonna say it was cool. We were telling embarrassing stories. I think it was the same day that you got sprayed by the sprinklers in the soccer field. I just don't remember what I was so embarrassed by. It buzzed me. I don't know.
This is my chance.
You're gonna steal. Steve's gonna steal.
This is game 6. Game 6. Craig was embarrassed at the Spanish Society.
Oh no! He still. He tied it up.
Upset of the
Dude,
century.
Steve can actually turn around and win this thing.
yes.
He could turn around and come back in 1 round. He could come back and win by 2. Well, win by 1 with 2
I
points in
can't
1 round.
believe I nailed
This is
that
the most
in.
epic. Woo! Woo! Scott, calm down.
Settle down, Scott.
Calm down.
Settle
Have you been
down.
keeping score? That was your job. I forgot to tell you.
2-1 Steve, right?
Yeah, they're tied at
2-2.
2. They're tied at 2.
Good job,
And
Scott.
we're at Steve. I can't. I'm
can't
freaking out.
believe-
I do too. And
cannot
now I
believe
have the.
And I think you're gonna get this last one.
That's
Ladies
promising.
and gentlemen,
No hints,
let's
guy.
hear Steve number 4.
Blake is definitely going to bang one of you to death if you let him.
That's a sponsor. Why would you say that?
Bang one of you to death.
Craig,
Play it again.
Craig.
Play it
Blake
again.
is definitely going to bang one of you to death if you let him.
It's during one of our ads, during one of our live reads for
In a way.
Momed Kenko.
Expound on that.
You
Stop.
you
Stop.
give these
Stop.
ans-
Stop.
No.
This is way too easy. Stop.
He gives these answers that are just like, it's
They're
that one
so
day we talked
vague.
about weed. That's our sponsor.
One time I talked about being gay. Jeez.
I'm good.
Like dudes, like weed,
Okay.
like smoking weed with dudes.
Dig deep. You got this.
I don't. It's escaping me right now.
Oh no, I thought
He'll bang you until you're dead.
if you let him.
If you let him, he'll bang you. I don't know it.
I'm gonna steal. I'm gonna steal.
Steal.
It was when we played FMK with all of our sponsors. And Blake is a scary proposition as a sexual partner because he's a man who could certainly impose his will on you if he wanted to. He's a brute. He's a big monster of a man. And Steve was living out this fantasy in his brain about how Blake was just going to ravish him. No, yeah, that we were playing FMK, and he was talking about avoiding Blake because he would do it to death.
Yeah. Uh-huh. There you go. So
Let's hear the
all right.
tiebreaker.
Well, if you can, I don't even know if there is an answer to this.
Big one.
Boom shakalaka.
I don't know if there's an answer to the tiebreaker. It's in relation to a song we're talking about, but I have no clue. The reason
Okay.
it's
Don't give it away. Play it.
Here, let's play it. Tiebreaker.
That's Seth making coitus juice.
What?
What?
Did you say that? I'm about to take your mic away. Any clue? This is from a while ago.
Was it something have to do with the zombies?
No.
We were listening to Cranberry.
Oh, you got that backwards.
Oh, the Cranberries listening to Zombie.
Yeah.
And Linger. Was it Linger?
Here's to you.
No, we were listening to music you liked. We were talking about weed and we were talking maybe about music.
Okay, so that's back when we used to use whatever
Each other's
music
bodies.
we wanted for rejoins, and we'd each pick a song, and it was a different theme every week. That theme was songs you can boink to, songs to make coitus. And you picked 9 Inch Nails.
I did.
And that's the song we were talking about.
And I picked
and you just
Bazzy.
interrupted
You
me
did
and him
pick
talking
Bazzy.
about the song.
To talk about Seth's coitus juice.
What? Why is that not caught on?
What is the deal? Because we didn't hashtag it.
Yeah.
Hashtag
You
it.
just slipped it in
That was a
there.
fun game. You guys can look forward to me giving Steve a heck of a profile picture.
He's in a dark place right now too. I don't want to.
It's a bad time to be in my
to be-
crosshairs. It's a real bad time.
The Peevely police.
Seth, well
force
done,
already
buddy.
got
That
it.
was so much fun, man.
that
always
was
have a good
super
time with
fun,
it.
Seth. Good
I
job.
can't believe you, dude.
Great
I
game.
thought that was the most that was, you know what that was? That was the Cleveland Indians versus the Chicago Cubs in Game 7. Whenever help me out, the outfielder just corks one down the line off of Aroldis Chapman to tie the game in the 9th, only for
No,
what's his face? Jason Hayward to go talk.
Why
to
are
the
you
Cubs
using
fans.
that? Why don't you use the Andy Chavez and the whole home run and then Molina and that situation?
Well, because this one was a letdown. You see, the Cleveland couldn't
but the
couldn't
Cubs
pull it
won.
off. I know.
Why
It was
are
a
you talking
letdown.
about it?
I'm saying you
No,
was the
that was
biggest, you just blew it. You had this great come
But
from
the
behind. You
Cubs-
just bombed off of Aroldis Chapman, and then
I can't believe you
came back out
won
and
the
Cubs
game.
still won. You guys still with us? All right. Well, hey, I want to talk to you. I had an I got an awesome message today on Facebook from a fan that is not active really on our page too much.
Why?
It made me feel. Who knows? People got their reasons. They're adults. They can do what they want. But she reached out and she said, "You talked about during the camping trip how Cucky was still a thing. Cucky was still cool, and they thought that was funny. Whatever." I got a message today from a gal I haven't talked to in forever. And she's like, "Hey, last year I got like the Cucky special at an exterminator. What was the name of that exterminator again?" And I just started laughing. I was like, "Well, here's the deal. They actually just re-upped as our sponsors.
Yeah.
But you still have to order the Cucky special."
Yeah, from my mom.
Cucky special. You have to look Steve's mom in the eyes.
Yeah, you have to go in there.
Cucky.
Yeah.
Give me the Cucky.
She has no idea what it means.
Not a
So
clue. Yeah, she
keep
hasn't
it
looked
from Betty.
Yeah, Betty has no clue what it means. Look at this innocent guy over here. So
I
anyway,
have my finger in my mouth right now.
they're great sponsors. They have fun with us. Gave us a little cockroach suit.
Listen, we've just surrounded ourselves with a crew of great sponsors who are great people, who are our peers, who have started their businesses. I mean, we're late to the game. We have a thing and we talk on the radio. It's like, yeah, we're businessmen too, right? What's wrong with us, Craig?
We're just lazy.
What do we do?
Just lazy pieces of garbage.
I had a trade.
I know.
What happened?
I was a welder.
You did that.
I gave it
You
all
made
up.
money. What are we doing here?
But Rose Extermination will kill your bugs.
They are good.
They will kill your bugs.
Dead.
They'll kill them dead.
I've seen maybe 3 mosquitoes. I haven't seen I lied. 3 or 4 mosquitoes since I was having hundreds.
Oh, buddy, they're terrible. I actually remember after you got right before you got your yard spray, I was down at the Amtrak station. Actually, I was at the Metrolink right there at Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
And
Selling
it was really
yourself.
weird because Brian was on horseback and he had this 10-gallon hat. Okay.
Okay.
And he said, "You tell Steve to tell his mosquitoes, I'm going to be there and I'm bringing hell with me."
And they're in the train.
And everybody was looking at him like, why is this guy he can't bring the horse on the Amtrak.
And he just rode it next
And
to
then
it.
he just took off downriver to Pear as fast as he could. And next thing you know, there ain't a mosquito in sight.
Nope. And he dove the horse right into the river.
Right into the river to Pear. And like,
Killed him.
what was Artax?
I exterminate horses.
Was it Artax from Never Ending Story?
Yeah. He goes in the bog. the
That's what
saddest
happened,
bog.
guys.
Sorry.
So anyway, but yeah, ask for the Cocky Special. 314
Rose Extermination.
845-6101. 845-6101. This is Hoosier Sophisticate. This is WGNU 920 AM. We're giving you a heck of a good time. Stick around to the other side of the break. We're going to give you some Netflix picks and wrap this bad boy up.
James Carlton Insurance 314-961-4800.
Handsome,
Amazing,
astonishing,
astounding,
fabulous,
incredible,
fantastical,
phenomenal,
prodigious,
stupendous,
unbelievable,
wondrous,
divine.
fantastical.
No, seriously, he's fantastical.
You got a house.
Go on and get it insured.
You got a car.
You gotta get it insured.
You got a life.
Go on and get it insured.
James Carlton!
CarltonInsurance.net.
Yanks come home. After a hard-fought battle in the Aleutian Islands, and after saving the homes, ideals, and values of free people from Axis domination, our boys and girls are coming home after kicking Hitler's butt. Oh boy. On the home front, Bell Chiropractic and Pain Management has been helping our boys and girls with back pain, primary care, and medical marijuana physician certification. The Devil's Lettuce. Visit Bell Chiro STL for more details.
Spiders are found on nearly every continent on the earth. Bugs and arachnids, and insects and other little critters are vital to the Earth's homeostasis, keeping our planet in balance and making all of our lives better. They are vital, beautiful little creatures. Unless you come in my house, and then I'm calling Rose Extermination.
Rose Extermination!
Roof? You know what that sound is. That's Rufus the Roofing Dog from Lifetime Roofing and Renovation. They're former insurance adjusters. They will fly a drone over your house to check to see if you've had any hail damage. Heck, they'll get up there and tell you themselves. They have an office in Webster Groves, and they're looking to help you out. Lifetime Roofing and Renovation, 314-800-0426. Give them a call. Find them online at lifetimestl.com.
This is the Brian Stoll Show.
Former Blues defenseman Barrett Jackman with us, and please tell me you got a chance to raise that cup over your head and give it a big fat kiss.
Once we got back to St. Louis, I ran home. I got my kid out of bed. Got to share pretty special moment with him at the Enterprise Center, and me and Bobby Fleischer, my son, raced together. So that was pretty cool for me.
The Brian Stoll Show, weekdays at noon on WGNU.
No need for the bride to feel tragic. The rest is push-button magic. So whether you bake or broil or stew, the Frigidaire kitchen does it all for you. My cake is ready.
Toads have been found which do secrete DMT-like compounds. There are many chemical compounds in nature which are psychoactive, but a much narrower spectrum of these compounds are truly what we call psychedelic or mind manifesting.
Let's take a trip, St. Louis, with Hoosier Sophisticate Radio, presented by Mycelio Media. Now we're throwing it back to Stephen Elgin and Craig Kohler. Now water your brain and watch it grow, 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 grow.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm getting crazy about our streaming.
Hoosiers of the sophisticated variety. This is Hoosier Sophisticate on WGNU 920 AM. Hopefully you're following along on Facebook Live. Maybe you're following along on YouTube on Mycelio Media. Maybe you're listening to the good old-timey fashioned AM radio. Maybe you're listening in Shanghai on WGNU 920am.com. Maybe you are.
If that is the case, then konnichiwa.
In Shanghai, you're going to speak Japanese to him? That's not going to go over well. Damn it, there was like a whole occupation.
I just went for it. I'm sorry.
No big deal.
Hey, I'm still reeling in from that game we played. I'm still living in it.
Oh, buddy, I'll make your profile picture. It'll be a cool one.
I'm living in poop.
So listen.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm here for you.
What do you think about? Are we going down the rabbit hole?
I don't think we kind of did that already, but
okay,
with the AA.
Fair
thing.
enough. Let's talk. I mean, we
we'll
got a
call
while
that the
before
rabbit hole.
we don't have to get into Netflix picks just yet.
Why not?
I mean, we can if you want to. You want to jump in?
Why not?
I was just thinking
Craig?
about.
No, mine's really quick this week.
There's been a few people that you can blow on.
Yeah,
I got you. All right. Come on.
All right, I'll figure it out.
Okay. We had a fairly prominent member in our group get banned today. Actually, someone that contributes quite a bit to the feed.
Our
obviously,
number one.
Obviously, I have a personal.
Our number one fan got banned.
Our number one fan got a 24-hour slap on the wrist.
First one, first offense.
I don't know, but the thing is it was posted in our group. It wasn't anything that nobody flagged it. Typically, I don't know if you guys know how this works, but if somebody posts something that maybe is a
risque,
maybe a trigger, warrant trigger for some people, we'll get every now and then we'll get a flag, and it shoots us a notification like, "Hey, this is getting posted. Do you want to approve it? Do you not want to approve it?" This did not happen.
This was two people though.
I didn't see it, by the way.
Two people. You didn't?
I did not see the actual post.
Well, let me break it down if I
Okay,
can.
please.
And if I could use the term coitus juice.
Sure, of course.
I will.
As much as you can. Yeah.
It was two people making coitus juice by a wrecked car on the side of the road. And it said, "Don't say people don't get pregnant by accident."
Oh, that's a good joke.
But it almost appeared like the people could have been dead.
Oh, really?
In my head.
I was that seems pretty dark for what she would normally post.
In my head. Oh no. But it could have been misconstrued. If you're scrolling,
I'm with you.
But who's not into zombie porn? Am I right?
It's a thing.
Of course it
It's
is.
a thing. Everything's a thing.
Of course it is.
Everything's a thing. You think of a
But
scenario
yeah,
if there's a point.
that got her a 24-hour ban because.
Well, at what point? First off, there isn't like a person that's scrubbing the entire platform looking for every inappropriate post. I have seen some horrific things. So AI is policing us here, clearly, right? Like somebody's flagged that photo enough times in enough other groups or in the public forum enough that like as soon as it's posted, it's recognized and that person is just no warning, no nothing.
Well, what about that breach or whatever happened with Facebook and Instagram where it went down for a day? What is this, a few weeks ago maybe? And all the pictures were showing up with the AI description of
Wasn't
what
that
was
crazy? 4 guys sitting in tub naked. It was like it's a weird descriptor for a couple of guys at a baptism.
That guy you banned?
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah, so I thought that was.
And you're not labeling your photos with those things.
No, obviously they're picking up on it. What's weird too is we still have to do that stupid thing sometimes to prove you're not a robot. Pick all the pictures with a sign.
The CAPTCHA.
Get out of here. A robot can't do that.
It infuriates me when it's like, press all the ones that are a stop sign. And so like you get like,
the
all the little pieces that aren't quite in the frame.
Now.
And I'm like, all right, am I not passing this? Or like are you guys not doing your job?
Then you're like, I'm a robot.
Yes, I'm totally.
You fail all those.
That's how we figure out that we're in the Matrix. We can't figure out a CAPTCHA.
The CAPTCHA.
Yeah.
But no, that's super annoying.
It's not just annoying. Like, I mean, are there some levels of concern there with obviously it's a private platform. We've talked about this with YouTube before. I showed you that video of a bunch of contributors on YouTube. Like, hey, this used to be a platform that was made by content creators. And now you go to YouTube and they're selling TV. They're selling all of the networks. They're selling NBC. They're selling sports packages.
Oh, that's
the thing.
Crazy.
It's no longer really about the original content creators.
No.
And they can demonetize like that. They're just on a whim.
Just like you clicked your fingers.
Yeah.
Just like that. Wow. Jeez.
People are
look
at that.
good.
Losing money. Losing money. You could be somebody
gaining money.
You could be somebody that has 28 million subscribers and have a video that overnight has, 20 million views, and it's not hitting the front page like it should. They do these shadow bans, not just YouTube, Facebook, everything. They do these shadow bans. And then when if they decide that you're making money off of something that they deem to be pseudoscience or fake news, they can demonetize it right there. And it's like,
we have a new tab in our page that says how many times fake news stories have been shared in your group.
No.
Yes.
I got to play around in that administrator.
That's
area.
where that I saw the ban thing happen. And that was underneath it. The Bonhammer.
The Bonhammer.
But it made me think of today. I was looking up, and if I can bring up Pizzagate again, but someone posted a meme in our group that said, "Oh, the Area 51 thing, it worked as a perfect."
Forget that a former sitting president was on the Lolita Express to an island where pedophilia was running rampant.
Thank you. So I thought that was a kind of an interesting little deal because
It always happens that way.
I'm big into that. I do think the media is definitely manipulated, but we're the ones who consume it. We like the Area 51 story way more than we like Bill Clinton doing things, horrible things, like the worst things.
The worst things.
Oh, man. And you can have a good time without that, guys.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
But that, all that, you know how the AI scares me and all that stuff. And I think, like we mentioned earlier, Facebook gets so big, it becomes its own worst enemy. And then it's bigger than Mark Zuckerberg. And it's all these machines. And
listening to Jack Dorsey on Rogan whenever he was talking about Twitter and trying to defend, the idea of trying to police 2 billion people, it's a huge task, and there are definite biases, and those biases are absolutely a real thing when you take into scope the community that's making these things. Obviously, the people, millionaires in Silicon Valley, lean left pretty hard, and all of the most progressive emotional ideologies that are part of PC culture. It's had normalcy in their community before anywhere else, and so they're always going to be trying and pushing social justice, for lack of better terms. So there's always going to be that bias, and that's why he was like, we probably need to open centers in the Midwest. We need to open centers just to see how people think differently. That's a really tight community in Silicon Valley that essentially is creating the entire cyber world that we live in. So I think, do you wonder, it's obviously a real thing. We saw it happen today. We have no control. If we had our way, like, we wouldn't really ban speech. We don't ban speech. If you're going out of your way to pile on someone and just be an absolute ass.
Ray didn't let someone in the group, but whatever.
Do you want him there?
I'd give people all the chances.
I don't.
He'll break your mouth.
The reason I brought up the Clinton thing, though, is you were talking about YouTube and the search function. I searched for like the WikiLeaks emails and just tried to search.
Good luck.
It was all Fox News covers it, CNBC covers. I was like, when did YouTube put all of these at the top? They've
become what they were. They were once the anti-media, and now they are just the media again. So that's what I was gonna. So my question was, is this going to be the catalyst? Will this be the thing that moves people to the blockchain? I can't think of anything else that could prompt more generations of people. The young kids are already going there, guys. They're not on Facebook. They don't care what Mark Zuckerberg is doing. They care insofar as what he does with Instagram. But as of right now, there's not a really good alternative to Instagram that's tied into everybody. So the blockchain, all of a sudden, when people really start to understand, people can scoff at crypto for not understanding crypto. That's fine. That's fine. But when they start to understand that the cryptocurrencies that power the blockchain, and they power a truly decentralized internet where speech is not policed and nobody owns it. Everybody owns it. It's all owned by these little micro bits of currency, and it's made up of these nodes that are all over creating this one network. When they realize that we can start communicating like that, you see, like, the government wants to shut down the Signal messaging app. If you guys aren't familiar with Signal, it's an encrypted
get out of here
messaging service. Like, no.
It's run by the government.
We have a Fourth Amendment. We have a reasonable expectation of privacy. Not all of my and they're like, well, this is what drug dealers and terrorists could be using. A likely story. You think drug dealers and terrorists are what do you want them to do? Go post on their Facebook thing? Yeah. You idiot. Like, the existence of bad doesn't strip away our rights. I know. It doesn't strip away our right to exist in a world that not every single second of it is monitored.
That's happening more and more and more and more and more. I'm upset about the Konnichiwa comment, so I'd just like to apologize for that again. But learning about the Bitcoin and the blockchain, wow. Do you see any caveats? Do you see anything in the future, maybe how it can be controlled? Because that's the whole thing about.
There are absolutely coins that already exist. There are already cryptocurrencies that exist and blockchain networks that exist that are owned a majority share by, one person or by a big bank. Banks that are like Ripple was all the rage there right before the last big crypto pump before everything hit the floor. And it was because like the banks decided that they were going to take it as a currency, like a couple of the big banks. Well, at some point that defeats the purpose of having these cryptos. So anybody that was along for that ride and bought them for nothing, hopefully sold out around that time, because the idea of buying into coins that are centrally owned by banks completely defeats the purpose of a decentralized currency that can't be inflated, or the value. There are only so many Bitcoin to be mined.
So if the banks own a majority of the Bitcoin or whatever coin it might be,
sure. Well, they can manipulate it. They already did. The worst thing to happen to cryptocurrency was when they actually saw. It's also the best thing for some of these people that saw immediate on small altcoins is what they would call them, coins that aren't Bitcoin. There's a lot of people that bought them for fractions of a cent, right? And then as soon as the banks started trading, the total market cap for the entire cryptocurrency market quadrupled, and a lot of that market cap was made up of these coins that went from 0.007 cents was their worth to all of a sudden they were a $3.78 coin, or for some people a 23. Regular Joe Blows that just are guys that were playing games and trading little coins on the you're all good, brother. I thought he was dying for a second. Regular people were turning into millionaires overnight, and if they sold out, they were in good shape. But what happened is now you got banks like JP Morgan Chase. They have their best analytical tools and teams that now get to participate in a cryptocurrency market with no governing from the SEC. So all of the pumping and dumping that they haven't been able to do for 100 years, now they have a place to move massive amounts of wealth, and they can run a currency up and then they can tank it. And even if they only make fractions on every single coin that's out there, it amounts to be millions and billions of dollars for these banks.
Wow.
But those coins are what make up these separate little things. So the blockchain is made up of all kinds of companies that are really pushing crazy technology, man, like really cool stuff. You start look into the blockchain, forget the whole cryptocurrency side of it.
That's just one little
the cryptocurrency is the
portion.
buzzword that they try to scare people with. Oh, it's a volatile currency. That's fine. Put it to the side. Check out what they're doing with the technology that these coins actually power.
How about, can you explain anything about that video network? Do you know much about that? The blockchain video network that's supposed to be the YouTube killer, possibly?
Oh, well, I think there's several of those that are popping up. That's what I was going to say. I think that, I hope for a 1-year plan for us, I would love to be able to move, a good chunk, a good fraction of our people. Yeah, migrate a bunch of our people from Facebook into the blockchain and teach them this whole new social network. I mean, I got to be honest with you. When I'm getting on social media anymore, it's really only to communicate with this group. That's what we were kind of hoping to make. Like, hey, we're all a team. Let's all pull forward. Well, let's create a space where nobody gets to tell us what to do. Let's create that space. And, oh, by the way, let's also build wealth within the system, right? Like that's how it works. Content creators get paid with the coin that powers the system. And we're getting too much in the weeds. My point is, I don't think that the average, even 28 plus year old has a reason or knows why they should go to the blockchain, knows anything about the blockchain. Like if you want to teach yourself something, just like go look for the most elementary blockchain lesson, figure out what it is, because they're taking bits of information from all over the world. It's like when Wonka turned Mike TV into a little floating little thing, and then he came out a little tiny. All those little bits
connecting of everything. It's the connecting and verifying.
But it's not one line. It's not one block of things. It's taking a piece from everywhere, from all over the world, all these nodes, and they come together to make that information. And then,
I mean, we are the universe learning about itself. It's like the connectedness of an acid trip. It's mixed with the neurons spreading out and communicating. It's like a microcosm of all that.
It's the equivalent of like if the universe was connected by telephone wires, All of the information was connected by telephone wires, and all of a sudden, everything's wireless now, Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Everything's just instantly there, and there's no tethers. That's what's going on in the blockchain. And there's really cool technology that's coming in with VR technology, completely an internet where you become really cool stuff.
They're
Internet
getting this
everywhere.
from Tesla's notebook too that they
probably.
found. They're like, yeah, we'll let chapter 8 out. He's got 15 chapters in this thing.
You ready to do this?
Oh yeah, I was born. Are you ready to do this? Let's rub them for a minute. Yeah, warm it up. You like that? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna give them?
We like movies. So do you. We like internet.
So do you.
It's the streaming picks of the week. It's the streaming picks of the week. And Hulu too. It's the streaming picks of the week.
We like the internet too.
What are you watching, bub?
Do I do glass blow glass?
Fine. Totally.
What's that show called? Blown Away.
Blown Away.
There's a glass blowing show. Seth, did you just wake up? There's a
cross-eyed with the
cross for a while there.
There's a glass blowing show, and obviously, I partake. I always forget what we can say. But glass blowing super interesting to me because you see it.
One of my favorite artistic mediums.
So cool. And I think they bring in 10 artists. It's on Netflix. It's a super easy, fast watch. I asked Craig about it. He's like, I've already watched all of them.
Watch them. Yeah. Watch.
You can watch it in a night if
Yep,
you want to.
Totally.
You can fast forward through a lot of it if you don't want to watch like a lot. But it's pretty succinct. It plays pretty quick even if you don't fast forward through it. There's a bunch. Glass blowers are goofy.
Yeah, for sure.
They're and I would love to party with them, man.
Me too.
They're Hanus and what was his name? Hanus.
Janusz.
He was awesome.
Janusz
was Hanus. Janusz is unreal. What was it? Mildred? I think was the other chick's name.
It would fit her.
There,
If it was. I don't know.
you know what I'm talking
I know
about.
exactly what you're talking about.
And
Watch Blown Away.
the things they blow in glass.
No doubt.
Oh, and there's so many double entendres. Like there's a glory hole. They stick their stuff in the glory hole, and they're like best in blow. And I'm like, I bet he is. Wink. So what you been watching, fella?
Well, I'll tell you what. I just to build on that a little bit. The idea of glass blowing is one of my favorite mediums. It's great. And so when I saw it, I've always liked all those little shows.
Todd Glass?
Seth, it's like
Todd Glass?
It's like Ink Masters, but with glass blowers.
I could get down.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Packing up all
It's
your
pretty cool. Yeah, Seth's like, I'm done.
I just unplugged it.
But that's a
Go ahead,
medium you
start here.
can't rush. You can't rush it, and they give them whatever 4 hours to complete all these tasks. And I'm like, man, if you gave them 8, these guys would really bang.
You didn't
some
watch
stuff
the
out.
last episode. You
No, I
moron.
fell asleep. I was going late. I watched it tonight. But
Not
no, it was
really,
cool.
but it's
It was cool.
You would
You
would hate the last episode.
I started. I started Dark, which is
Woodenfragen?
yeah, it's basically a darker German Stranger Things. It's so it's kind of the same thing. Like a kid's gone missing. It's all shot in Germany. The dubbing's great. It's fine, but it's not as playful as Stranger Things is. And Stranger Things is really great. By the way, I posted a phone number today. We probably should have called it on air, but there was a phone number that like they dialed on the show.
It wasn't that good. I did it, and I was like,
yeah. Did you watch the show?
Yeah, I'm on like episode 6 or 5.
Have you even gotten to Murray yet? Have you even gotten to him? Have you gotten to the character? Anyway, Dark is it just released the second season. I just started the first season, and it is, buddy, I think it's going to be Black Mirror level awesome.
Okay.
It's almost like if Black Mirror and Stranger Things had a baby is what's going on here.
Ooh, they talk a lot about the Schwans.
It's no, they don't talk about the Schwans at all. But no, it was it's a fun little watch. It's a little bit more intense. Whereas Stranger Things, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna watch this up until I'm ready to go to sleep. For Dark, I'm like, maybe I need about an hour buffer before I go to bed. It's kind of a twister.
What'd you think
a little
of
bit of a
Stranger
psychological
Things? You
thrill.
said it was the
I
greatest
absolutely
thing
loved
ever.
it. I absolutely love Stranger Things.
I mean, it's pretty kid. Those kids are terrible actors, though.
You just hate child actors. You just hate child actors. I don't understand it. Scotty, let's get you involved, brother. I want to hear. They want to hear your voice. Everybody keeps asking, like, "Where's Scott? How come he's not talking? Where's Scott?" All right, here's your chance, people. Scott Cooper is going to give us his very first streaming pick of the week.
But first, I'd like to read a few things off the text line. Old Tommy R is having a great night. JP Morgan's container ship was seized, and they found $1 billion worth of cocaine, 20 tons. Old Ross from Friends, Ryan O'Rourke's listening. Which, Craig, brings me to another point. I'm just kidding. I'm messing with our intern right now. Got him. Go ahead, Scotty. Hit him with
what you been watching, brother?
All right, guys. Well, I binge watched all Stranger Things, of course, and then I couldn't find anything, so I was like, I've been on a 90s comedy TV show for some reasons for the past 2 years. So I keep thinking of the ones I liked when I was little, so I've been watching it. Well, I came across Frasier. I never gave it a chance, so I said, I'm gonna start watching it.
Yeah,
and it turns out to be one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. And there's 11 seasons, so obviously it was good.
It's so good, dude.
And the funniest thing is, I forgot about that dog. I remember seeing that dog growing up, and then I see that dog Eddie. I was like, I remember why that was so funny.
No doubt, dude. I think it was right before we went to Kansas City.
Real quick, Scott, first time on the radio?
Yes,
I can tell. All right, go ahead.
He's such a jackal.
How's that adrenaline rush feel, baby? Pretty good.
Starting to sweat a little bit.
You're good. Hey, we won't play banjos over you.
Okay, I'll ask him the question. Ask him the question, buddy.
All right. So yeah, that's what I was leading into. All right. So here's the deal. You're talking about 90s sitcoms. Who's your pick? It's this person is going to be the live-in help at your house. Okay. Is it the nanny, Fran Drescher? Is it Daphne from Frasier? Or is it Mr. Belvedere? Go.
Obviously, now it'll be Daphne.
I knew it.
I was like, I'd never seen the nanny because that girl's voice was so. I couldn't do it. Mr. Belvedere.
Did you like Janice?
Oh my God! Yes.
I knew it.
Yes.
Okay,
because
so-
I'm a sick human.
I know. Season 2. You're in season 2.
Season 2.
I watched it.
And I recently just got done binge watching Everyone Loves Raymond.
Wow, nice.
And I thought that I remember watching that when I was younger too. Didn't get the jokes.
Yeah.
I'm 33 now. I get the jokes.
Right
But
on.
I don't have kids, but
I got you.
I see my other friends have kids.
Sure.
I'm like, that's probably what they're going
You've
through.
seen a kid before, so
Yeah.
you kind of get it. No, Frasier was my least favorite character from Cheers. Are you a Cheers guy?
Like I said, I haven't seen it in years, but I remember my parents watched
you
it all the time.
Yeah, you should go back and visit.
But I
Cheers.
remember he came from
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers is one of my favorite shows. Scotty, thank you.
Countdown sequence initiated. 10 seconds to evacuation. Security breach detected. You have intelligence. Is under attack. Extracting dark matter. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We did it again. And I'll tell you what, I'd like to leave here right now. I'd like to drive right down to Soulard, right down Sydney Street. I'd like to pull into Truman's place. I'd like to get a nice cold beverage. And I'd like to eat some of the best darn food you're going to get in all of St. Louis.
Everyone can agree. Everyone can agree it's delicious.
It is delicious. The next time you and your partner are trying to figure it out, just listen to Steve's commercial. We've all been there. What do you want to eat? I don't know. You pick. Guess what? Just pick Truman's, fellas. She'll be all on board. Truman's place is Soulard. Bell Cairo STL. They make this whole thing happen. And they're doing pretty much every service you could possibly get.
All the services.
All the services.
They catch parrots.
Laser, yes. Laser hair removal. Tattoo removal.
Yeah,
medical marijuana certifications. I think it's $150.
Yeah, they'll enter an eating
Check them out.
contest. for you.
BellCairoSTL.com, CarltonInsurance.net. If you're not insured by him, well, you're a fool. And you're not insured all that well.
Extermination.
Rose Extermination. You got bugs, they want to kill them. They have a bloodthirst when it comes to insects and arachnids, and they want to take them out.
And rodents.
They want to be your Arnold in
Forget rodents.
in Predator. Oh yeah, they'll get rodents. They'll drop
All
a
day.
book on their head.
Oh, no,
No, that's set.
No
They
sickos
do it
would
like
do that.
professionals.
No sickos would do
Guys,
that.
thank you so much for making this entire thing possible.
Hey,
We
thank-
love you so
thank
much.
Mark and Scott.
We got Cotillion this week, and I will see
Mark and
you
Scott,
guys.
too.
I will thank Mark and Scott.
Okay, just
After
making
I
sure
talk about the important stuff. I'm just kidding, guys. I'll see you at Cotillion. We're having a heck of a time. Mark on the boards, doing great as always, and our newest intern, Scotty Coop. We'll see you in a couple days. He's coming down to Cotillion with us. and we're going to go through the stars. We love you, St. Louis. Be well.